Good afternoon, everybody. Let me turn the camera around. Good afternoon. This is Roosevelt, and I'm coming to you live today from Dealey Plaza in downtown Chicago, Illinois. It's a pretty warm day here in the city of Chicago, and we are here is sort of for a day of action and protest against the Chicago Police Department, because it's like a couple of weeks ago, we achieved some victory in, Chicago with the conviction of Jason Van Dyke for the killing or the shooting 16 times of Laquan McDonald. But of course, they went around and took the victory from us because there was a police shooting a few years ago and they went and gave another officer back his job after he killed a woman's son. So we are here for this day of protest here in downtown city of Chicago. So I'm going to turn the camera around and let you see what's happening. This event should be getting underway in a few more minutes. So I'm just coming to you live today. I was up in Minnesota for a couple of weeks and visited my parents, to help them with some of their product, to some of their things. But it's good to be home and it's good to be here on today. So I'm going to let you see what's happening.
Brother grandfather. Yeah. And every brother got shot in the back of his head.
Okay, I just want to let people know we're gathering for the March and Rally, the October 22nd day of protest to stop police brutality, repression, and the criminalization of a generation. We'll be getting started in a few minutes, so we're gathering together. If there's there's some people that are on their way. If there's other people that need to be on their way, get on your phones right now, on your Facebook pages, tell everybody to get their butts down here now. And we'll get started in a few minutes.
Okay, while that's being done, I'm going to also take this opportunity to share this with my Facebook audience. So just give me 1 second, you all. Bear with me. So far, there's nobody watching me now anyway, so hey. With my Twitter audience. So I'm going around let you see everybody who's here on today. There's not too many of us here. But we are here. We are here. And we're getting ready to get started in like a few more minutes or so. And this here is Brother Westside. You all probably remember him from the protest that we did when we were going to shut down the expressway leading to O'Hare Airport.
And then on top of that, it's up to the judge.
Let y'all see what they put out here. How you doing, man? How are you? You been doing good? Good. That was a good thing. That was a good thing. Everybody say hello to my YouTube audience. Well, there's a pigeon right there. I guess these are all the victims who've been killed by Chicago Police Department. And we gotta get ready to get started soon. So good afternoon again. This is Roosevelt with a very special live remote of Roosevelt Sounds Off. And we are here downtown today in downtown Chicago at Dealey Plaza for the day of protest against the Chicago police and their tactics and how they do things here in the city of Chicago and what kind of repression that we face here in the city of Chicago and what kind of tyranny that we face here in the city of Chicago by the Chicago Police Department. You know, sometimes the way Chicago police treats us, it's almost like being a part of some kind of third world country or whatever. as to how they do things. So hopefully we'll be getting started pretty soon. Pretty nice day here in the city of Chicago today. Weather-wise, it's somewhere in the late 50s or upper 50s, low 60s. But it's comfortable because, as you see, I'm not even wearing a overcoat or anything. I'm just wearing a suit coat and everything and shirt. That's all I'm wearing. So this is Brother Westside.
And see the get to his car. So then the lawyer would have known. He said, my client cannot get a fair trial. He can't even make it to his car. So the judge would say, okay, where you want to relocate it? I prevented it. See what I'm saying? Even when you say no justice, no peace, I told my people, watch this, watch this. I told my people, no justice, no peace, don't say racist. Those who join us. Nobody uses it in the era, like, but it's not good at all. Basically, the wind blows, they blow over. Those of you that's joining us, we are here today for class. We're going to start shortly. This is about police incarceration and mass murders. So we are here standing in solidarity that we say no to police brutality, no police murders. All these people right here, I'm about to show you right now. Those people joining in. We're about to all these people for life. We're going to start shortly. We will start shortly. Close. We will be starting very shortly. So we're here with Rams.com, and some other organizations.
So these are the victims of Chicago police brutality and murder. Somebody see breaking on the banner?
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, I understand. Hey, Roosevelt.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you?
Okay. You got the camera, huh?
Yeah, try to be like, look at this guy right here. Look at this guy. What's up, man? You doing all right?
What you got, the Canon or Nikon?
This is the Canon.
Oh, okay. I got a Nikon.
60D.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Nice one.
I like the Nikon, though.
I got a D7000.
I'm about to get a 7000.
D7000?
Yeah.
No, get the D7200.
Wow.
Better processor. Better processor, trust me.
You go to mirrorless cameras, the ones that have electronic.
No, but I can't.
Yeah, those cost some money. Even though they're fast. They're fast.
Mr. Carl, is there
So
any?
finally, Nikon and Canon are coming out with their first of those.
Yeah, but Sony started it all.
Yeah, Sony said. Well, not really. Even before Sony, but about they're in. The first ones were like Sony, Fuji,
And they're faster. They're fast.
Panasonic, and what's the other one? Olympus.
Olympus, yeah. They're fast though. They're very fast. Okay. So there's many people out and everything today. That's just a little camera shop talk or shop talk.
Let me talk for a minute. I told Dick
We actually got the
we love you. I said, what? Tell me to look on the gun. So I shook his lawyer and said, you're a boss. He said, I'm a lawyer, you're a top lawyer. Put him comfortable. You see what I'm saying? So all this had us walking around in circles, getting it towards. We couldn't do that. So I told my people, don't call. He said, no justice, no peace. Don't say
Not even his name, it's just what's my duties, it's our responsibility as citizens.
so like that. So I made everybody think. Well, it couldn't be moved to white supremacy. You understand what I'm saying? So
Okay, we should be getting. Hopefully, we're getting started soon. I hate to be on this live all the time, but we're not started. I need me another tripod.
Yeah, well, you don't need this one. Don't look at this one. Where'd I get you the aperture?
I don't know, mine.
Where do I get to
That's
the
the advantage of this camera. It's right here.
So you're a manual?
I can see it right here.
Aperture should be the middle
mine,
number. It should be the middle number. So you have to go to something.
It'll be
highlight
F2.8, F4, F.5, something like that. But you shouldn't have to go more than F5.6.
Well, you know what? Let me get out of it. Just let me know. Because actually it's looking good right
Because
now.
the wider you keep the aperture, the lower the number you keep the aperture,
The more light you let into the camera.
Yeah. Obviously, because it's...
So you're on video?
Yeah, but look, it looks good now.
Yeah, so you're just going to shoot. Yeah, so if it looks good now, you can just shoot an automatic.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Mr. Muhammad, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you as always. Okay.
I wish I'd known anything outside. I was playing on outside. You know, all day I'm gonna do is I see the corn like that, that's how you get a chance to grow up. He's a big boy. But, you know, and then I said, we're not gonna let, we're not gonna let no man walk the streets.
Because anytime I use my Canon for video, I usually shoot that manual.
You get 18, you can even get closer.
Huh?
He's at about 21. If he gets at 18, focal length, get even closer.
Oh, yeah.
He's at 21. Why don't he put the 18 and get closer?
Yeah. The only downside that these things have time limits because you only get like 30 minutes of video before it cuts off or something.
And then you start it again.
Right. That's the only thing I hate. We should be getting started soon, hopefully. That's when we get to 7,200. Oh, that pigeon steady flying.
So one thing wrong with Canon, and both Nikon and Canon, their menus are too complicated. So is Olympus. The menu's too complicated. I like a simple menu. Well, most things aren't even in the menu. You can have little buttons on your camera.
Because you have to go set that thing up the way it's supposed to be set and all of that.
You know why the menu's too complicated?
Why?
Because the Japanese make their menus too complicated. All the things that are manufactured in Japan, the menus are too complicated. I guess that's the Japanese.
But Canon, that's an American made, right?
It's Japanese, yeah.
Canon? I never knew that.
Hey, Jack, come here for
While we're waiting, I would like to wish everybody good afternoon. Hopefully everybody out there is doing good. This is my first video being back in Chicago. Good to be home. So everything's going well. We got some more people coming. Let you turn around and see everybody.
Where are you at?
Let's see if we can go in and meet some people.
Yeah. But there's nothing you can do. Take a lead. So what do you want to do?
Well, I was thinking of something we could for myself. I had asked.
Okay.
Might be able to turn it down just a little.
Looks like we're about to get started. You good?
Okay. We want to welcome everybody here today
About to get started, you all.
to the 23rd Annual National Day of Protest to stop police brutality, repression, and the criminalization of a generation. My name is Lucha. This is Roosevelt. We'll be hosting and emceeing this today. I want to start off this way. Jail the killer cops. The terror must stop. Jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
Okay, that's why we're here. The terror must stop. That's why we're here today, here together. That's why people in other parts of the country are in the streets today with us. That's why this day got started 23 years ago. That's why people have stood up in different ways across the country, from Michael Brown through Laquan McDonald to the guilty verdict we just got that was a taste of justice. But there are rivers of blood. And now is not the time to so-called heal and come together with murdering police. Now is the time to do what we are doing right here and say this terror must stop.
That's right.
That's right.
So we want to welcome everybody. And we want to ask everybody, one thing you can do right now too, as we're doing this and throughout this rally, take a picture, put this on your Facebook page, or take a little video and stick it on your Facebook page and let everybody know to spread this, that we're out here standing up, because the eyes of the world are on this city right now and looking at what are people here going to do. And we're joined today by a number of families who have been very courageous in standing up against the murders of their loved ones, of their children, of their grandchildren. The people this system has demonized and dehumanized while their police have carried out murder after murder. And the families who have spoken out on behalf of their children and their loved ones have inspired us here and all over the country. Their voices have been a cry for justice in ways that have broken through the consciousness of millions of people. And we are very glad that that's who has been part of calling for this today, and that's who is part of who is here today, and we're going to hear from them very shortly. Do you want to say anything?
No, I would like to say, first of all, I would like to say that mothers are touched by this. No doubt, fathers are as well. With mothers standing together against the murder of their loved ones and standing up with courage collectively is more than a message. It's a clear statement that no more will this carnage take place. No more will they have to bury their loved ones under this system. Mothers and fathers are tired of this, and they should be, and they should show their outrage. I'd like to thank all the mothers and the parents and loved ones for being here.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to bring up some of the families, and I'm not sure if the different people here had a preference about who to go first, but we would like to call up Alice and Latoya Howell. Alice and Latoya Howell are the grandmother and mother of Justice Howell, who was murdered by the police in Zion in 2015.
Come on.
Give it up for these women for coming here today. Every one of these women went through an enormous battle to be here, and still is going through an enormous battle.
I'm the mother of Justice Howell. My name is Latoya Howell. My son was 17 years old. He was murdered by Zion, Illinois police. My son was running away in flight for his life, and he didn't make it. They shot my baby twice in the back, murdering him on April 4th, April 4th, 2015. We're here because we want this shit to stop. We are tired of our loved ones getting gunned down like they're animals in the streets. We're getting our human rights stripped away from us, and that shit ain't right. It should be way more people out here protesting this police terror. It should be way more people out here. There's people still walking around, I say all the time, they're going around their daily life, their daily routine, like we're not dying every day in these streets. It's somebody getting gunned down right now, somewhere in this nation. And it's a fucking tragedy that this is happening. I got my babies out here. I took my babies out of school. That's how important that is to us. We can't continue to stand by and let our loved ones die at the hands of these coward-ass law enforcement. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of always coming to the gatherings and shit ain't changing. We got a little piece of hope when Van Dyke ass went down, but we're waiting for the sentencing. On October 31st, we're gonna wait on that, and we will be on the streets waiting, because y'all know it's always gonna be a slap in the face somewhere. They don't want him to serve his time 6 to 36 like he's supposed to be. I heard he might even get his lessons about 3 to 8 years. That's fucking crazy, right? That's crazy, right? We need this to stop. I don't want to see any more Justice Howells, Alton Sterling's out here. I don't want to see no more Darius Pinecks out here. They covering these stories up. They getting away. We lost our trial. Last March, we just lost to these police. There's a video out here. They sing, you see my son running for his life. They talking about that my baby turned around somehow like this and shot at a police, pointed a gun at a police officer. There's a video out here. They lying in your face. Evidence on the table. Cops lying on the stand. It's all right here. That's why I say fuck 12. Because 12 jurors got a chance to say that my baby was a criminal, a threat to justice. Cut it out. It was an injustice done that day in that courtroom, and this injustice is happening on these streets all the time. And I need y'all to continue to be here, continue to stand up, and bring some of these sleep-ass people out with you. Justice for justice.
No justice. No peace. No justice.
No peace.
No peace. No racist police. My name is Alice Howell. I'm the grandmother of Justice Howell, killed April 4th, 2015 in the city of Zion, Illinois. Justice was not a threat. Justice for running for his life. The narrative of the police, that was all made up, as they do with all the killings by police. They come up with a narrative for the public to believe they're not criminalizing our kids, they're killing them, and once they kill them, they was a threat. No, they was not a threat. The only time that we've got a piece of justice, it's been 50 years. That's when Van died. And look what they had to do to get that. They had to get the video released. They had to fight. We shouldn't have to go through all that. We have evidence. The video's not working. This is proof. So they're overlooking that, and they're making up their own stories. Suicide. How do a kid commit suicide? That's when he's shooting himself in the back of the head. All this shit must stop. So we here today, it's been 23 years, we still fighting for justice. So what do we need? Revolution, nothing less, because nothing else is working. So I stand with you all today on the 23rd annual national protest against police terror. It's not brutality, it's complete terror. They are killing us in the street. They're killing our young Black, Latino, and our Indian children like we don't matter. But our lives matter. Our lives matter.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn it over. I'm here. I've been fighting this fight now going on 4 years. I'll continue to be here. And we have over 1,000 killed per year by police, and we need those families to start standing up and fight this injustice system. We don't want dialogue anymore. Dialogue is getting us nowhere.
So we need to come together as families, group, and people who's fighting for this injustice and see how can we plan to beat this system to stop killing us.
Right.
Okay, here's Justice Sisters. They want to say something. Then we got to move on to other family members. And once again, I said, no justice!
No peace.
I'll say justice for justice. Say justice for justice.
Justice for justice.
I just want to say, it's crazy how people can sit here and watch. It's crazy how people can sit here and watch their children and their friends' children or neighborhood children get gunned down by people who supposedly supposed to protect and serve you. They tell you this all your life. You grow up thinking that the cops are the good guys. But as you get older, you realize like they always here trying to interrogate you, trying to harass you. And it's crazy how they still be having cops going into the schools. Cops who killed somebody going to the schools and explain this and that like they didn't do anything wrong. I just wanna that all y'all people out here that y'all go and encourage y'all kids back at home to start standing for what's right.
Right.
It's very hard for me sometimes because when young people my age get killed, it's like dang, that was my brother. That could have been my cousin. That could be your sister, your brother. And it's just like, how could you say you fear for your life for somebody you didn't even, for somebody who like don't have no criminal record, who doing great in their life. They killing kids who got a future. They killing kids who top MVP basketball. They killing kids who straight A's in school. And it's like, it's like I'm living two sides. Like I'm seeing two different perspectives. Like I could be right here right now. Then when I go back home, go back to school, it's like it's so different. Like everybody's eyes is blurred. They not seeing. Wake up! We need to wake up. And it's crazy how everybody could just walk past. All these people in the streets didn't even stop and look once and listen to what we got to say. They just walking past like nothing happened. They need a change.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No racism. No peace.
Jail those killer cops! The terror must stop! Jail those killer cops!
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops!
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops!
The terror must stop.
Jail those killer cops!
The terror must stop.
The terror must stop! Those voices we're hearing, those voices that we just heard. Again, put that up on your Facebook page right now. Get this out all over the place right now. Get this out to people everywhere. And I want to say, I don't know the name of Justice's sister, Jayla. But Jayla, it's very important that you came and spoke to people here. And what she said about the fact that people are walking around asleep, that people need to wake up, that people aren't paying attention. This is what we're doing right here, right now. What you're doing, what you just did, what we're doing here together today is waking people up. What we're doing here today is putting out a call to the whole society and the whole world that we refuse to allow this terror and murder by police. That we will not allow and let the people that they have killed, those lives of our precious loved ones, of people taken away from us. We will not allow that to be in vain. We will not allow that to be what continues for generations to come. We are determined to stop it. And right here today, we are putting that call out to the world and calling people to wake up and stand up and be part of a fight to put an end to this. Not to try to make some changes around the edges, but to end it. Because we can't be going through the same thing generation after generation and generations from now. This has to stop.
That's right.
So with that, I want to bring up the next family member.
Again, what the young lady spoke on was true. You know, people was walking around right now and not paying no attention to what's going on. You know, it's time to take the blinders off. It's time to come. It's time to really, you know, pay attention to all of these children that's running around here thinking like her. You know, how many children do you know that's in her same situation right now? That who don't know how to approach a police because if they do, they stand to get shot. This is a system that we don't need. We really don't need. But I would like to bring up a friend of mine a sister whom put me in a position to speak on her behalf at a few different events. And as I always said, it would be wrong for me if I did not do it the way that she would want me to do it, and that is by saying no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. I'd like to bring up the aunt of Alton Sterling.
Greetings from Louisiana. It's so sad. My story is your story. But I want you to know something. What's sad is the police, they're together on this thing from city to state to town. They're together on this. And what's bad is we can't be together as one body because I can't do it by myself. I need you. I need all of you to fight when I fight. When you fight, I'm gonna fight with you. I'm coming. Ain't nothing but death gonna stop me. Do you understand that? Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
You don't hear me. Hold on a minute. No justice. No peace. No righteousness. No justice. No peace. You can hear me now. Okay, now I can finish talking because I didn't think you heard me. Listen, we have to go out and get the people. It's not enough people here for me. I should have been on the street last night gathering these people up to bring their ass right here. You understand? I should have been on the street last night gathering the people up to get them to come on out. This fight is not just about me. Alton, ain't nothing you could do for him. It's over with. I'm standing out here for your black ass. And I'll be damned if you're not going to stand for yourself. I'll be damned. It doesn't matter what color you are. Your ass is a mark. We have to fight for justice. And justice. And Alton. And the rest of them. It's so many. I went to Washington, D.C. By the time I got up to talk, I was in tears because their story was my story. And I told her, I said, I don't have anything new to say. I don't have nothing to say because they done said it all over and over and over. The police killed my child. How many times was it? How many people went up before me? That is crazy as hell. That's crazy. Alton lost his life because he is black. Ain't no other reason. They killed him because he was black. And while his body was laying on the ground, the police said, look at this nigga. That should make you want to get your ass up and fight for justice. No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! I say revolution and nothing else!
Yes! No justice, no peace, no resistance, peace!
Let me say that she's been in the street every single day. Since she lost her nephew, she's been out there fighting every day, and she's still saying the same. This is the reason why I say now, no justice, no peace. I could not even say it before she introduced me to that word.
I want you to say it with me again. The terror must stop.
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops. The terror must stop. Jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
Jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
What Vita was just talking about up here, this is terror. When she talked about all the people and all the lives and all the children, and hearing this over and over and over again, this is terror being carried out against the whole people. When we say this terror must stop, it's because it is terror and it must stop. And nobody's gonna stop it but us. Nobody's gonna stop it but us in the streets, standing up, calling forward others to stand up against this and to refuse to allow it. What we are doing here today together matters. And yes, there needs to be many more people who are doing this with us. And we are the ones in the front calling them forward and sending a message to the whole society and the whole world. We have a couple other families we want to bring up to speak and a couple other people. And we're going to march after this rally. We're going to take to the streets. We're going to march through downtown and put this in front of everybody's faces and call forward the people who can join us. Call forward the people who need that challenge to step forward. We're going to hold up these faces. We're going to march through downtown with those faces so everybody in the world can see them. And we're going to call forward the people who need to be part of this fight with us. But before that, a few speakers, a couple more families, and a couple we have with us today. I'll let you know ahead of time, Carl Dix, who was the founder of the October 22nd day of protest to stop police brutality. He's going to be speaking in a short while after the families speak. So this is what we've got coming, but we have one or two more families to speak.
I'd like to bring on a family member, Kim Handy. She's also have the foundation, Cordell Queen in Remembrance of Me Foundation, Inc., nonprofit organization, is helping families with memorials for their children who have died from police brutality, community violence, and terminal illness. This is Kim. Can you imagine that? You have a family member who have to stand forward and help other family members with memorials for their dead children. Under this society, we don't need this type of society. This shit is not working for us.
My name is Kimberly Handy Jones. I'm the mother of Cordell Handy. My son was killed in St. Paul, Minnesota by one of the deadliest police forces in the Twin City. You said a mouthful. We shouldn't be having to buy headstones, helping to buy headstones. We should be forming together for family reunions, reuniting and uniting people. But instead, we've been forced to bury our children. But how can a black man or woman ever be unarmed when the color of their skin is the weapon that they fear? Niggas with triggers. I'm tired of them weaponizing, demonizing, brutalizing, and victimizing our children, and we have to humanize them. I'm sick of every time that I look at the news or open up a paper, another child has been gunned down. I'm sick and tired of it. Bullies with guns. Why even join the police force? Why would you join it? Why would a fireman go be a firefighter if he's afraid to go up in the building that's burning? But we're the threat. We're not the threat. We want justice and not just us. We need people to wake up, but not just wake up. We need you to stay woke. We need you to come in the masses. We need you to be here in numbers, because that's where our strength lies. And see, one thing, when you messing with a corrupt, dirty system, you have to learn to get in the mud. You have to be all right with getting dirty and getting down to the nitty-gritty of truth of things. Because they're not going to ever be transparent. It's for us to be clear with each other about what it is we want. Bring our demands. Our children should be here. Justice Howe should be here. Alton Sterling should be here. Jonathan Victor, Daisha Miller, Cordell Handy, Michael Wesley. All of them should be here.
Black people should be here.
Black people, wake up and stay woke. My son, when he left to go back to Minnesota, he looked at me and my 2 kids and he said, Mama, Juwan and Whitney, I love you all. We all we got. We are all we got. We say we got it in the blood, but damn it, we need to get it in the mud. We need to get down as low as we need to go the right way and demand what we want. You know, we got a little bit of it with Jason Van Dyke, but everybody know he should have been convicted of first-degree murder. Everybody know that. But see, the problem is they want to give police all this money and let's train them, train them. You don't have to train them not to kill white people. Why we need to train them not to kill black and indigenous people? Why do we need to do that? Then they kill our kids, they get to have paid vacation. Wow. They family still eating at the end of the day. My family couldn't eat because of the tragedy and atrocity and the tolls that it takes on our lives.
I hope you listen.
Then you get to go home, you eat with your kids, sit across the table. How was school, Junior? Well, I'd like to ask Cordell. How are you doing? What are you doing? Then you stand there and look at us. Well, I'm looking at you. Stop killing our kids.
Stop killing our kids.
It's real simple. But eyes have not seen and ears have not heard what God has for you. Judgment Day is coming. And I pray God let me wear longevity out to see when it comes. Until then, I'm going to keep my boots on the ground. I advise you all to keep your boots on the ground. Now it's a chant I made. Latoya, Alice, you all know it. Let's get it. Boots, boots, boots on the ground. We here to shut the shit down. Boots, boots, boots on the ground. We here to shut the shit down. Boots, boots, boots on the ground. We here. Kim ain't turning around. Don't look for me too.
Can we hear that one more time? Boots, boots, boots on the ground. We're here to shut the shit down. Boots, boots on the ground. We're here to shut the shit down. All right. Okay, I want to play an audio message that was sent to us. Hopefully we can get the audio playing here from Pansy Edwards. She wasn't able to make it today, but she was part of calling for this rally today. Her son, Dakota Bright, was murdered by the Chicago police in 2012. He was shot in the back of the head as he was running away from them. And the week after the Van Dyke verdict, the CPD rehired that fucking cop. They put him back on the force. and gave him back pay for the time he was gone. So Pansy has sent a message, and I'm gonna see if we can get this played over the mic here.
While she's working on that, I would like to say good afternoon to everybody who's watching with the 23rd protest against police brutality here in downtown Chicago. Very nice day in Chicago. All of you who are watching, make sure you share this live video. Share. Let everybody what's going on. We're about to hear this voicemail of Miss Pansy Edwards in a couple of minutes. And then I guess in a few minutes, after a couple of family members or something, we will be marching. I'm going to stay live as long as I possibly can, because you know my batteries is only so long. Let's hear from Miss Edwards.
But I would like to thank each and every single person that was able to be here, because October 22nd, National Day of Protest, means everything to everybody who's ever been unjustly accused, unjustly murdered by these pigs and by this system. A week ago, my son's murderer was set free. He was able to go back to work. He was able, all of his police powers and everything was restored. My son, Dakota Bright, 15 years old, shot November 8th, 2012, one time in the back of his head by Officer Brandon Turnan. He was found that he unjustly shot my son, Dakota Bright, unprovoked, unjustified, unwarranted. And 1 year later, they give this man his job back. It's unfair to us as a human race, as people who deserve better than we are getting. We do not deserve to be treated like trash. We deserve everything that these white people get. If a police shot a white person, he's going to jail. If I shot somebody on the street, I'm going to jail. There's no way we got these lynchmen constantly killing our kids and being set free. It's unfair to our race. It's unfair to humankind. It's not right what they do to us, and it's unfair what they do to us. So I hope each and everybody out here, let it be known, no justice, no peace. Send these killer cops to jail.
Straight up.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. No racist pigs either.
Okay, I want to bring up Antoinette Marshbanks. Her son Archie Lee Chambers Jr. was killed by Calumet City Police in 2012.
Hello, my name is Antoinette Marshbanks. My son, Archie Lee Chambers Jr., was killed April 21st, 2012 in Calumet City by a Calumet City police officer. I was served injustice in this state. My son, he was running from the police because he was in fear of his life. Not one officer, not two officers, but three officers knew that my son was unarmed. No officer said, "Don't shoot, hold your fire, he's unarmed." The fourth officer at a distance on the scene discharged his weapon and my son sustained a fatal shot. Today, I live without my son on this journey of grief because our officers failed to do their jobs. That was to communicate in the fields to save my son's life. My son was only 20 years old, and now I have to live with the fact that my son is no longer with me. I was served in justice, and justice needs to be served to all of these families who are losing their children and loved ones to this police violence. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to bring up some more speakers, but there was a chant that we put together as we were protesting outside the courthouse during the Van Dyke trial. All these families that have gotten up here and spoken, all of that pain that people are going through, which is unnecessary pain. It's unnecessary because these lives did not have to be taken from people. This murder does not have to be happening. We don't have to live in this kind of world. But I want to say this chant together because it gets to the root of what's going on here, of what role these police are playing, of what they're carrying out with this terror. And it goes like this. From the slave catchers to the KKK to the killer cops of today, convict these cops and put them in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. From the slave catchers to the KKK to the killer cops of today, convict these cops and put them in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. From the slave catchers to the KKK to the killer cops of today, convict these cops and put them in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. All right, now I want to bring up Carl Dix. Carl Dix is a representative of the Revolutionary Communist Party and a follower of and advocate for Bob Avakian for his leadership and his visionary new synthesis of communism. He is a courageous freedom fighter from the 1960s who went on to become a revolutionary fighter and a communist. Dix spent 2 years in military prison for refusing to fight in the unjust Vietnam War. He emerged unrepentant and went on to become a founding member of the Revolutionary Communist Party USA, dedicating his life to the emancipation of all humanity. Carl is a co-initiator of Refuse Fascism. He co-founded with Cornel West the Stop Mass Incarceration Network and initiated Rise Up October that brought thousands into the streets in New York City in 2015 demanding a stop to police terror. And Carl is the founder of the October 22nd Coalition to stop police brutality, repression, and the criminalization of a generation. Carl Dix.
All right, how's everybody? All right. Look, we ain't got enough people out here, but what that means is we got to go out and get more. Because look, back in 1996, we started this October 22nd National Day of Protest to stop police brutality, repression, and the criminalization of a generation. It was me representing the Revolutionary Communist Party, a few other individuals, a couple of organizations. And we did that because there was a nationwide epidemic of police brutality and police murder. Because there was repression coming down and because they were treating our children like criminals. We have fought that ever since. And frankly, the struggle was going on before then. It didn't start with us. But look, this struggle is very important. It not only has to continue, it's got to intensify. Because the system is still giving green lights. A green light, a flashing green light to brutal murdering cops. You heard these mothers and aunts come up here today. Think about this. Mothers burying their children. Aunts burying their nephews and nieces. This has got to stop. That's right. And on top of this, you got Donald Trump and his Attorney General Jeff Sessions saying they're going to take the gloves off the police. Police who are already brutalizing and murdering people and getting away with it. And they going to take the gloves off them and bring the hammer down even harder, especially on black people and Latino people. This struggle has got to come back, and not just get back to where it was a few years ago. It's got to intensify, and it's got to go farther. All of us involved in this have to figure out how we can mobilize more people, how we can expose more deeply and hit with more determination at the system that's responsible for all this. When the system comes at us, we have to refuse to back off. And we have to bring wave after wave of even more people in response to their attacks and to their threats. And we got to open up the debate about where this is all coming from and what it'll take to stop it once and for all. And this leads me up to my main point. Time is up for this system.
Right up.
We need a revolution.
Need a revolution.
The suffering that they inflict on us is outrageous. It is genocidal in nature. And like Lucha said, it is unnecessary. We don't have to suffer this way. We should not settle for a drop of justice like they gave us around Laquan, because these killer cops are shedding rivers of blood. We got to stop this. We got to end it. And the only way to do that is through revolution and nothing less. And let's be clear. When I say revolution, I don't mean getting a few black faces or a few brown faces or a few female faces in some high places. I don't mean getting a few more jobs or passing a policy or a law here or there. This ain't about having a healing circle. People need to heal, but that ain't what revolution is about. Revolution is about something different. And it is not some dream or scheme about abolishing the police or the prisons while the system that needs police and prisons is still in effect and doing the shit that it does to us. No, revolution means something. It means actually overthrowing this system. Yes, I said overthrowing this system. It means mobilizing millions of people to meet and defeat its armed forces that suppress us, that oppress us, and repress us. Doing that when the time is right, when the conditions where that can be done has been brought into being. A revolutionary situation and a revolutionary people numbering in the millions. And it means dismantling the institutions of this system and putting in place a totally different and far better system that has radically different economic relations, political relations, and ways for people to relate to each other. Now, this system would be one that is truly emancipatory, and if you want to know what it would be like, there's a blueprint for it in the Constitution for a future socialist republic in North America, a document that you can find at the website revcom.us. And you need to check it out if you want to get out from under this mess. There's a basis for this and there's leadership for it. And a key part of that and what makes revolution not only necessary but possible is the leadership of Bob Avakian, the leader of the Revolutionary Communist Party, the architect of a new communism, a leader who knows how to fight to win and knows the goal that this fight has to be aimed at achieving. And beyond that, he knows how to lead others into how to wield science, to understand the world and society we live in, and to wage revolutionary struggle, and to keep advancing in the face of the challenges that we'll meet, because there will be challenges in this revolutionary struggle. And look, right now is a good time to dig into this, because a film of a talk by Bob Avakian titled "Why We Need an Actual Revolution and How We Can Really Make Revolution" has just come out. You need to check that out. In this film of this speech, Avakian lays out what's the source of all these horrors, why we need a revolution to end them, how we could actually make revolution right here in the belly of the beast, and what we got to do now to rally first thousands, then hundreds of thousands and millions of people to enlist in this movement for revolution and be part of bringing it about. That's right. Now today, October 22nd, 2018, the National Day of Protest to Stop Police Brutality, is a day to dedicate ourselves to taking this struggle higher, intensifying it. Not just today, but every day after this. And at the same time, we have to dig into how we stop this. And what that means is you got to check out this film. It's also available on the website revcom.us. You got to watch this film. You got to think about it. Go where it takes you. And while you're digging into it, spread it to others. Let them know about it. Encourage them to watch it. And look, hit me up with what you think about it. Talk to me right now. I can give you the way to get with me, but hell, I'll just tell you my email address right now. carlmdix@gmail.com. My name with the middle initial thrown in there at gmail.com. Write me. Let me know what you think. Pose your questions. Pose your ideas. Because we need a revolution, sisters and brothers. A real revolution. One that gets rid of this system and puts in place a totally different system. A system that does not need killer cops. A system that does not need dungeons that they call prisons. A system that does not need to attack immigrants. Does not need to treat women as less than full human beings. Does not need to wage wars for empire. That's the kind of system, that's the kind of world we need to live in, and it is up to us to bring it about. So let's dedicate ourselves to doing that, and let's act on it, sisters and brothers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carl. We have about 3 more speakers, and then we're going to step off on the march. So I want to introduce Greg Greer from Freedom First International.
Okay, you're good. Oh, it's okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bishop Greg L. Greer. I represent an organization called Freedom First International. I stand with you as a brother in the struggle. I stand with you as another person who is just, I'm all cried out. The reason why I'm all cried out is because you can't go into any community, go to North Lake and try to kill a child. Police. Try to kill a child and see what happens. Go to Crystal Lake and kill one of their children, and what would happen? But yet and still, you go to the south side of Chicago, the west side of Chicago all day long, and I tell you what, this is just a small sample of the lives that were taken through police brutality. I tell you what, we gotta stand up. We say it doesn't happen until it happens. It's not real until it happens to somebody else, but yet and still, it's happening in your own backyard, in your front yard, in your living room, and in your community. That's right. This is not freedom. We have to fight for our freedom every day, day in and day out. My message to the police apparatus, the military-industrial complex, the political structure of the United States of America, right down to the City Hall of Chicago, Illinois, is that the people are tired and we want change. Yet and still, we're not asking for it. We're not even demanding it because it's happening. I tell you what, I wasn't an advocate of revolution, but this system has to go. A system that kills your children, a system that harasses you, a system that beats you, a system that hunts you down like animals in the street. That's not love, that's not peace, that's not serve and protect. My message to the police, your time for harassing the community is up. We are tired now. We are tired now. And guess what? Guess what? That serve and protect. I'm gonna give you a stat. Let me throw the stat out, and I'm not gonna be long-winded. I'm gonna give you a stat. 600 hours for police to graduate the police academy. A hairdresser is 1,500 hours in training. Did you know that? What does that tell you? Who's protecting you? Who are you calling? Teach our children that you are protecting yourself. You don't need the blue. We need us. You need yourself. You need to depend upon community. A community block club captain who do more for you than the President of the United States of America. Am I telling the truth? Stand up and fight. We have no option. We have no choice. It is critical that we stand up and fight. It is critical. And I'll tell you what, this is my message to the pacifists. If you are a pacifist, take a side because you're doing this harm. If you're a neutral or a neutron, get out of the way because you are hurting us. If you a soldier, redirect your fight because you ain't fighting a good fight as long as I see this list of names. These babies dying, where's your fight at? We need soldiers. We need people who stand up and say, hey, it's time for this to end. And I guarantee you, once that happens, you'll stop seeing this. When we say no more and we are tired, it's over, it'll happen. Until then, lives will be lost. Innocent lives will be lost. My very last thing is that it is time for us to stop going down to City Hall. I said it time and time again. You won't find service there. Stop going to the State House. Stop kissing Rom in the mouth. Stop kissing the governor. Stop hugging up these politicians who aren't doing anything for you. Depend upon you. Depend upon your family structure. Depend upon your block. Talk to your neighbors, your aunties and uncles, and tell them these young men, women, and children whose lives are being taken every day. This is not love. This is not murder. This is homicide. This is genocide. This is a worse genocide. I'm going to say it. This is a worse genocide than the Holocaust. Mark my words, take it, and it's going to continue on until we say what? We are tired. Time to fight. Fighting for freedom, we're fighting for lives. And until we take this thing seriously and see it for what it's worth, it's going to continue on. So which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Which side?
Okay, thank you, Greg Greer. And I want everybody to say again with me, jail the killer cops, the terror must stop. Jail the killer cops,
The terror must stop.
jail the killer cops,
The terror must stop.
jail the killer cops.
The terror must stop.
That's right, the terror must stop. It is up to us to put a stop to it. It is up to what we do and call people forward to do. Now I want to recognize somebody who's here today with us. Shantae Needham, who is the sister of Sandra Bland, is here today, and I just want people to recognize her. It's very important that she's here.
You know, one thing I like to say is that, again, they're trying to bring back stop and frisk. And what that means is that, again, the police can walk upon any young man in the neighborhood, regardless if they're working or not. And if they refuse to stop, they can shoot them in the head. They can do that. They've been doing this for a long time. So with that in mind, I would like to keep on going and bring on one of our, I would say beautiful brothers, you know, I mean, in lyrics he is, and this brother is a tireless representative of the Rev Club. He's always in a fight and he's never letting you down. I would like to give a warm shout out and warm welcome to my brother, my comrade, no change.
First, I want to recognize the families and the fact that their strength and their bravery give us all strength and courage to be out here and to be standing up for this. And every single time, every single name, every single life stolen haunts the soul, pierces the heart, and boils the blood. And this outrage is part of why so many people burst out in celebration when that pig Van Dyke was convicted of murder and locked up. But just a week after that, as we know, they showed us what to expect from this system. The cop who murdered Dakota Bright rehired and paid an $80,000 bounty for the head of Dakota Bright. Meanwhile, people who represent the system and who front for the system preach reconciliation and talk about healing and coming together with the police. Even people who should know better are repeating this and talking about long-term reforms, which, whatever the intent, will have the effect of lulling people to sleep while the ruling powers fight amongst themselves to figure out how to further murder and maraud the people who already have the hardest life. And we here today are representing a force that's going up in the face of all of that and saying, no, a single drop of justice will not heal the rivers of blood that have been spilled by the murderous enforcers of this system. And it is up to us to wake people up. It ain't gonna come from anywhere else. It is up to us to wake people up and to shake off the ways they put on us that keep us trapped in the same old rat race, thinking about ourselves and how to get ahead while they rule over and figure out how to further oppress everyone.
Get rid of the people that's doing it. You run for office.
That's right. Well, I ain't running for office. Okay? We need to...
Run for office. Get rid of the people that's doing it.
So we in the Revolution Club are getting organized now for an actual revolution. We live by and fight for the points of attention for the revolution, which you can find out about from the Revolution Club, which represent the principles and the morality of people who are fighting to put an end to all oppression. The way they murder black and massively incarcerate black people and Latinos, hound immigrants, including stealing little children from their families and putting them in cages. The way they treat women as less than human beings or are trying to erase LGBTQ people. The way they plunder our environment and wage wars against our people all over the world. And we do not want to and we do not have to keep fighting the same fight for another 23 years. We have to win. In this new speech from Bob Avakian, why we need an actual revolution and how we could really make revolution, he says we face a choice. Either accept all this and condemn future generations to suffer the same hell, if they have a future at all, or make revolution. And yes, fuck Jeff Sessions and his Ku Klux Klan loving, Darth Keebler elf looking ass talking about how the police are part of the solution. No, the police and the system they enforce are the problem. And the solution is going to work now on preparing for an actual revolution. A time when millions can go all out to go up against and defeat and dismantle the violent enforcers of this system, including their police.
Straight up.
And establishing a new socialist republic on the ashes of this old American empire, where our police, as Bob Avakian has said, our police in this new society would sooner take a bullet themselves and die than to murder one of the people that you're supposed to serve and protect.
Straight up. Straight up.
Now is the time to put an end to the days when this system can do whatever they want to people. And people are not inspired with a vision of a different world and a way to go to work, to build up the strength, to fight these outrages, and to get ready for a time when we can put an end to this all out through an actual revolution. So join the Revolution Club. live by the points of attention. Take up this new film from Baba Vakian and change everything. This is a foundation to organize a mass movement for revolution and to train a new generation of leaders for this revolution, to get ready for the time when we can do the deed and actually overthrow this system once and for all. Thank you.
All right. From the slave catchers to the KKK to the killer cops of today, convict these cops and throw them in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. From the slave catchers to the KKK to the killer cops of today, convict these cops and throw them in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. All right, I want to bring up one more speaker, and then we have a solidarity statement, and then we're going to start our march. So I want to invite up to speak Reverend Joseph Pugsley of Freedom First International.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No races! Police! No races! Police! Good day, everybody. I'm here. My name is Reverend Joseph Pugsley. I am representing Freedom First International, and I'm standing on solidarity with the families and everybody that lost their lives to police murder. So the question is to the police department, who do you protect and who do you serve? Because you ain't serving nobody, because you killing our babies every day. We can't even walk in our streets. We can't even go to the store with some killer or some racist called pull us over and try to search us and try to harass us, whether it was sexual harassment, whether it was any kind of harassment. They search us and they don't think there's nothing wrong with it. We say no. We said enough is enough. This behavior is out of control. This is illegal. This is police terrorists. These terrorists are worse than the soldiers in Iraq. These terrorists, so-called police officers, harass our families. They protect their own. And these politicians stick with them. Every time they do a crime, they always on police leave and they get paid under the table. We say enough is enough. And I want to say this as I close, I'm not going to be up here very long, that Donald Trump and Mike Pence, this regime has to go. This regime has to go because it's not the American way. The American way is everyone coming together and loving one another. And the police can't even do that because Jeff Sessions says anytime a police crime happens, it's a local, it's not a national matter. Well, Jeff Sessions, I got news for you. This is a national matter because anytime you are Attorney General, anytime that there's a crime that's happening with the police department that's supposed to be in power, you're supposed to correct them, but you don't. So if you're not going to protect us, don't wear that badge. Take it off. Because you make it a disgrace to the good cops. You are a disgrace to the city. And that's because you wear a badge. You are not above the law. We want the justice that we deserve. These kind of cops should never be on the streets. They need to be reformed. They need to be retrained on how to engage to the community better than what they do. And until we get the justice that we deserve, we going to shut everything down. We going to shut this downtown down. We going to shut the mayor's office down. We going to shut it down. And if we don't get it, we going to. If we don't